Hi, my name is Shirin Hornecker. I'm a communicologist and an educator of the Meta-Discipline Communicology. This is a short presentation, a short video to give you a glance about the existence of this meta-discipline. It has been around in Scandinavia for over 40 years and now also is established in Europe and around the world. A thinking that is based on systemic thinking, and this systemic way of thinking is more and more necessary in nowadays. We shift, or we can say a paradigm shift, more from the linear way of thinking, the causality, the methodological thinking, the mechanical thinking, to a more holistic way of thinking, a systemic way of thinking. And this education will give you the whole toolbox to do this precisely in whatever field you're working on. And this is also my motivation why I became an educator. I want to pass this on. I want to pass this competence on because it makes such a big difference. Whatever you learn there, you will have a boost to your competence. Everything you have known before will become more valuable, and everything that you will learn will become more valuable. So if you're an operator and you work with some people in your context, whatever context you're in, you should not miss out on this opportunity. And why is it so? Because for some people it might sound very academic, very theoretical, this meta-discipline and so on. But let's go to music as a metaphor. It's very useful because so far there's no other meta-discipline in behavior and social sciences. So it's hard for us to compare it to and to relate to. So let's talk about music. Maybe you've learned an instrument, or you know someone who learned an instrument. How is the way to learn an instrument and to become a musician? You don't learn different subcategories of music. You don't go to the Mozart school. You don't learn Baroque or jazz. You learn first before you jam around with all this, what you've learned. But you learn first the elements, the stuff what music consists of. And it's rather a small amount of things that you learn, and then you juggle around and you become familiar. It's a lot of practice, a lot of practical exercises you do, and then the more you practice, the more competent you become, and then you can go into the small stuff and become more maybe specialized in certain things. You can also communicate with other people around the world about music. If there's other musicians from Africa, wherever you're from, or in America, Latin America, and you can cooperate and communicate across other cultures with that common knowledge. And this is a way to kind of compare it to what communicology has done, or the founders have done, creating in behavioral sciences a common toolbox, a summarization, and coming from this multidisciplinary background to summarizing knowledge. And this was about done 40 years ago, even more, 50 years ago, by Jorunn, Sjøbakken and Truls Fleiner, the founders of Communicology from Norway, and coming from multiple disciplines, and even early in their studies, they come from different disciplines and broadened their aspect and detecting common form that they detected across fields of knowledges different phenomena in different names, but having the same form. So they detected and went on the hunt for this same form, isomorphism, with this focus on human activity or interaction and change processes and change work and communication. Communication also can be classified behavior and our experiences and communication in our brain. So in this process, there was across many years across disciplines and summarizing from formal knowledge, but also looking into the tacit knowledge from operators doing very successful change work. So they summarized and pointing and naming also this competence and put it all in one box, basically the toolbox. The result is the material of communicology, around 40 metonyms, Sammelbegriffe, collective terms that are all as the working material of a communicologist. So this might sound abstract, but when you just think again back to music, when I just pointed out on what is it you learn in music, you learn this small material rather than not what it's done in behavior sciences. We learn all different and even small details, more small methods, activities being broken down in even further details. So this can only be of a value for you to have a common understanding, a systemic way of understanding, to doing change work and to be in communication processes across fields. The education, just very briefly, consists of different modules. You can all read it on the website communicology.com. Important is that you don't have any obligation to continue at any point. You start with module 1, you get a good idea what this meta-discipline consists of. The whole material is introduced in module 1, and you can choose if you continue or not. Most importantly, it is a training program, so it is a lot of doing, and it is very practical. There's different activities, group activities, and every exercise, every word is being exercised. You can also use those directly in your work when you work, let's say in coaching or something, or you can do it in a different way, abstract way, in a flexible way, exactly also how you learn it then. And there's also body-mind work, there's slow motion to get the brain involved. We talk a lot about systemic brain research. There is neuromotoric stimulation, slow movement, different patterns. There's a lot of language training also. So there's a lot of activities, and this is where you can see in the education that more and more the whole knowledge is integrated. It is not a studied education, it is an integrated knowledge education. So if you have any more questions, please get in touch. You visit the website, read more about it, and don't miss out on your next opportunity. Thank you, and look forward meeting you, getting in touch with you, and all the best. Bye bye.